Okay, it's 6 o'clock. Is everybody ready to go?
Yeah.
Yes,
All
ma'am.
right. I call this meeting to order. Please stand for the flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Patty, roll call.
Chamberlain,
Here.
Mrs. Saylor. Mrs. Taylor. Okay. Mrs. Corey,
Here.
Mr. Dilks,
Here.
Colonel Hensky,
Here.
Dr. Jones,
Here.
Mr. Lepsis,
Here.
Dr. McCloy,
Here.
Mrs. Shoemaker. Mrs. Shoemaker?
No, I don't see her.
Okay.
In compliance with the Open Public Meetings Act, this is to announce that adequate notice of this meeting was given in the following manner. On January 8th, 2020, notice of this meeting was transmitted to the Burlington County Times and Central Record, filed with the Township Clerk, and posted in the office of the Business Administrator Board Secretary. Additional notification was made on August 28th, 2020, in the Burlington County Times to inform the public that this meeting was rescheduled and will be held in virtual format. Notification was also posted on both the district website and the district app. I direct the Business Administrator Board Secretary to enter this statement into the minutes.
Okay.
Mission statement and public comment. Please state your name and address. Everybody's still on one whole screen here. This is a pretty small group. Please state your name and address. Each speaker will be allotted a maximum of 3 minutes. No one may speak more than once on the same topic. Please keep your comments respectful and non-defamatory. Keep in mind that it may not always be possible or appropriate for the board to directly answer questions during public meeting periods. At this time, you may only speak on agenda items. I do have one that was sent in through email. I'd like to read that real quick before anybody else. It's addressed to me, dear Mrs. Chamberlain. We wanted to include a public comment for tonight's Board of Ed meeting. We are so grateful to the Tabernacle teachers, staff, and administration for a very smooth start to our son's all-remote 8th grade school year. The teachers were very organized, and the Google Classrooms and Meets were user-friendly. We would like to publicly commend Mr. Ipri, Mrs. Mitzowitz, Mrs. McNair, Mrs. DeBlasi, Mrs. Petersack, Mr. Santoro, Mr. Stecker, and Mrs. Erickson, and Mrs. McLaughlin for going above and beyond to make the start of the school year a good one. Sincerely, Tim and Amy Bruin. Do we have anybody else with any public comment?
Jennifer
Jason, I see
Tyler.
Jennifer
is
Tyler.
raising her hands.
Yep, I see her. Mrs. Tyler, go ahead.
Hi, Jen Tyler, Elmwood Drive. My question has to do with the school supply list. I am very concerned and confused because the school list is dated May 2020, and it said that it was updated recently and school started today, but I have the original printout and there's nothing that's changed. There's nothing that's different. Grocer's name is still on it. The date still currently says May 2020. Like there's no difference. So I'm just would like some clarity, please, on the school supply list. Like, how do I know I'm sending my son to school with the right things?
Absolutely. So we actually met with all the teachers depending on the grade. Since you're talking about ones that would be in the 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, they said those supply lists that they made are actually accurate. Some of the issues that were happening in the past were in particular with the younger grades. Some of them had mentioned things about sharing different supplies, so they were more of an issue, but the 6th, 7th, and 8th graders did confirm with us that those supply lists that you see posted online, despite the what you said is the correct about the May date, they are actually correctly accurate.
Okay, is there a way to I mean, I know this is all a learning curve for everybody, but it's really imperative to have the dates correct, because if I look at it and it says May 2020 and I go back and have been told that there's an update, but it says May 2020 and there's no difference, then I'm thinking that it wasn't actually updated. So being a parent, it's very frustrating trying to get everything in order and make sure that my son is prepared to come to school and in compliance with everything when compliance isn't up to date or able to tell by looking at it if it's up to date.
Absolutely, Ms. Tyler. I understand your concern on that one. I can tell you that it will be updated to reflect the accurate dates and everything else as of tomorrow.
No, I appreciate that.
We did verify everything, but I can certainly understand from your perspective how it could be very confusing if we're not seeing any date change to confirm that it was verified. So that's not a problem. We will make sure that it's corrected.
Okay. I also like to say real quick, I had to call the school this morning, and I believe the woman I talked to, her name was Dawn. She said she was a substitute in the office.
Mhm.
Sweet as can be, extremely helpful because I was having some technical issues. They didn't have my son set up to be able to log in so that he was able to show attendance. So they had to manually put me on hold and manually had to call the teacher to let them know that he was logged in so he got credit for today. So that was a bit of another issue. But she was wonderful, and I just kind of wanted to give her a little bit of credit to be able to let know that she was very pleasant. Her personality couldn't have been better.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Any hands? I don't see any. Moving on. Education Technology Committee. Dr. Jones, you have anything?
They've been very busy with professional development and getting started, and Sean is welcome to jump in at any point. Obviously, the focus over the last couple of weeks has been starting off the school year. There is going to be an ad tech meeting in the next couple of weeks. So if anyone does on the board have anything that you want me to add to said agenda, please just email me, and I will be working with Sean to pick a date and time that the committee can get together.
And as Megan just mentioned, we've actually been a big focus on professional development. Obviously, we're trying to make sure the staff is ready with the new technology tools we have, some different resources we purchased and the like, and obviously our whole new teaching model of moving from in-person learning to the experience we had in the spring to more of a hybrid and in-person and virtual environment, since our teachers are preparing for 3 different situations all at once. And I wanted to give a special kudos to Melissa Gallagher, our assistant principal, on trying to find ways to also model the professional development for our teachers. She did a lot of work over the summer to create an exact example for all the teachers of different choice boards, of different tools, so that to make it easier for them, and also make sure that professional development can be done on their own pace, just as we're trying to work with our students and trying to differentiate things for them. We try to differentiate our professional development for our teachers as well, because I think it's very important that we model what we want their teachers to do.
Okay. Under Human Resources, we have 2 items. Can I get a motion?
So moved. Brian.
Brian, second.
Second, Judy.
Any questions or comments? Patty, roll call?
Mrs. Corey,
Yes.
Mr. Dilks,
Yes.
Colonel Hensky,
Yes.
Dr. Jones,
Yes.
Mr. Lepsis,
Yes.
Dr. McCloy,
Yes.
Mrs. Shoemaker,
Yes.
Mrs. Saylor,
Yes.
Mrs. Chamberlain.
Yes. Under Operations, we have 2 items. Can I get a motion?
So
So
moved.
moved. Brian.
Second, Gail.
Questions or comments?
Just one comment on the 8B, the repeater. Several years ago, we looked to have a conversation with the township about possibly piggybacking on their radio system. At the time, there was a vendor trying to sell us on the radio system. We wisely passed on it, but there was talk of a new band coming out, a new frequency coming out, and a potential to possibly piggyback on the township. Just file that away for future reference if there's ever a time or a place to do that. Otherwise, I take it this is just a second repeater to replicate what we have in TES?
Yes.
That's correct.
Okay, I have a question
Go ahead, Vicki.
about the cost of the runs. Has that been determined? How was that determined?
That is a contractual amount that's in the collective bargaining agreement.
Okay, because I haven't seen that. Okay, thank you.
Okay. Any other questions, comments? Patty, roll call?
Mrs. Corey,
Yes.
Mr. Dilks,
Yes.
Colonel Hensky,
Yes.
Dr. Jones,
Yes.
Mr. Lepsis,
Yes.
Dr. McCloy,
Yes.
Mrs. Shoemaker,
Yes.
Mrs. Saylor,
Yes.
Mrs. Chamberlain.
Yes.
Thank you.
Dr. McCloy, anything under policy?
Nope, nothing for this time.
Okay. Any unfinished business? Seeing none. Any new business?
Yeah, I'd like,
Oh,
I'm sorry, go on.
Sean, I just want to double check. With the new school days and the different times, the lights should probably be started back up again for school. Are we adjusting them to the earlier times, or what's the game plan? Because that has to be programmed out at one of those base stations, correct?
I believe so. We'll have to,
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
You mean for the signs, right? For the blinking
For the
sign?
blinking lights, for the when school, not school in session, but when the lights are blinking.
Right.
I think they have to be reprogrammed each year, and I just wasn't sure, one, to make sure that they are now that we're back in school, and then two, whether or not you guys have decided, are you using the same times as before, or given our current hybrid model, if there would be an adjustment made to them, because I don't know where the school's out, kids are going to be in the building or not, if that would impact the times, because obviously we want people to respect those lights, and if they think that they're on there for no good reason, that's never good.
It's a good question. We may have to add additional patterns for it because we do have multiple releases, since we do have some students that are sticking into the full day. So the timings that they were previously set at would still be needed. We may have to add additional times for the afternoon as well, but that's a very good point you're bringing up. Thank you.
Okay. Any other new business?
I just wanted to say again, real quickly, that I'm just so pleased with our first day. I know we have our blue cohort was in today. Our gold cohort comes in tomorrow, but very pleased with from the top down when it comes in with the parents coming in this morning for drop off to understand our new drop off and pickup procedures, to the staff, to the students who did a fantastic job wearing their masks all day. So proud of them, and so many awesome little masks the kids had from so many superheroes and different pictures and this, that, the other. It was just awesome. They were all very proud of their masks throughout the day. And it was great to actually be walking around the buildings and checking all the rooms and see students back in our school and see the learning happening. And then also obviously to see the virtual thing and see that we're able to, and obviously completely new for everybody, and talk to a number of parents today, obviously trying to figure out how some of this virtual thing works for them. But I think throughout the board has just been very impressed with everyone trying to pick up, learn something new, and make it all work. And definitely huge kudos to our custodial team, with Keith and then Rich obviously taking over as well, and everything they did to make our buildings work, to finalize the move, to get everything in, to make the building spotless. Our floor sparkled this morning when walking in. It was great to see, and to make sure they had everything done right, to make sure all our desks were socially distanced, that everything was done properly, that everything we said in our plan would happen in terms of the cleanliness of the buildings and everything else. And that's not the job of one person, that's the job of a whole team. So thank you to everybody for all their hard work this summer as well.
Rich, welcome aboard.
On that note, did everybody get to meet Rich? He's our new
Not yet.
key. Rich, you want to say hi? Just wave. We don't care. Just so we know your face.
Hi, everyone. I hope to meet you all in person soon enough. But, it's very nice to meet everyone on here.
Welcome.
Thanks for coming on, Rich.
All right. Any other new business?
I think this fits under new business. I think Sean, are there plans to do a survey after perhaps a week or two to get some feedback from the parents?
Yeah, we're developing multiple surveys, Dan. We want to figure out what specific areas we want to have feedback on, obviously with things that we can improve. I know we definitely have at least the first week. I know the guidance counselors have a survey, and probably by the end of the second week, we'll have one coming out for additional feedback from the parents as well.
I think we want to be careful not to survey them to death.
Absolutely. That's why I'm going to be a little bit.
But by the same point, I've heard some very positive things from the first day and some things that definitely need to be addressed.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so I think you're aware of a couple of them already, but I just want to make sure that we are doing all that we can so that it is a smooth process, whether the kids are in the building or learning remotely.
Absolutely, Dan. And I think that's part
Yep.
of it, is the growing pains and the hiccups, but we obviously want to hear
Yep.
from all parties as well.
My head didn't explode entirely today. I recognize it's new, but I just want to make sure we don't have these same conversations next week.
Understandable.
Anything else? All right, miscellaneous?
Before you do the goals, can I jump in here with a couple things for
Sure, go ahead.
miscellaneous?
Yep.
First, just to remind everybody that coming up later this month is BCSBA workshop on the 22nd. If you go to the NJSBA website and go to county meetings, you can sign up for it. It will be virtual. And it will be on social emotional learning. And the second thing is I like to say congratulations to Sean and his wife for the birth of their new son.
Thank you, Vicki.
My 3 sons. Or your 3 sons.
Very good.
Hey, Meg, one thing for Sean. Sean, as we continue to operate in a COVID environment, can you add a couple topics into your superintendent report and kind of go, hey, good stuff we're working, or good stuff we're capitalizing on, bad stuff or stuff that we need to challenge through, and the results of the survey, so the board at least has kind of a running tally of what you're kind of working with, is so if we field questions or we hear things, you might be already addressing the stuff that we're hearing. It just kind of gives us a little bit better essay of how things are going.
So I'm sorry, Steve, let's make sure I get down to things we're working on.
Yeah, think issues like, you had your problems today and you had your successes.
Absolutely.
Those are the good things that we like to kind of hear. So if, we get possibly stopped and somebody goes, hey, I didn't, this and this happened. We go, oh yeah, we're all over it. Mr. Bannon's got it and he's addressing it.
Not a problem.
All right, cool. Thank you.
Welcome.
Anybody else? Board goals, district goals? Patty, do you know if we have to do a roll call vote, or can we do one of those all in favor ones?
It should be, oh, go ahead.
Sorry, Meg, this is actually not a formalized vote. We'll vote on it at the next
Board
meeting.
meeting.
This is more
Oh, okay.
if there's any tweaks anybody wants to make or any adjustments.
Okay. In that case, any comments or questions? All right, everybody ready? Brian, you ready?
No,
Just don't move on
sorry,
to
man.
adjourn.
Steve has one.
As you are.
Hey, I'm sorry.
Hold on, Steve.
Dave.
John, we've been working on a district strategic communication plan for as long as I've been on the board. Are we actually putting pen to paper now that do you foresee us actually?
In terms of how we're going to be communicating properly, Steve?
Yeah.
I think that's one of our goals. I think we're trying to make sure we're putting as much as we can out to increase our communication using the technologies we have, or if there's things we need to figure out that are even better. So yes, I think that's definitely something we're working towards.
Okay, great. Thank you.
No problem. I know we will be resuming the weekly newsletter as well. So hopefully that does help keep parents more in the loop. Actually, I'm so sorry. I don't be remiss. I almost forgot one key thing. Again, if parents did not see, the USDA decided last minute to kind of change some things for us, making sure everyone's aware of that. Again, I just don't want to be remiss and mention this. If you're not aware, what they did was they basically decided to extend free lunches to all individuals under 18 through the end of this year. Okay, that was a very unexpected last minute thing from them. So basically that enables any of our students are now eligible for free lunch. So working with NutriServe, if you look on the survey, I know we have the Google form that's on the website to ordering lunch that's now been adjusted to mention it's now free. Anybody that did pay already this month or this week will have the option to get refunded. And this is a program, we don't know how long it's going to last, if they're going to extend it again, I'm saying, but for at least for the time being, it will be there. So again, the reason why I'm saying we don't know if they're going to extend it again, if anyone still would qualify for free and reduced lunch, please do send in the applications. That way you would not be cut off at a later date if something happened. But at the very least, the USDA is making this available throughout the rest of this calendar year until the end of December. And again, through our lunch program, You can order lunches from Friday to Sunday, and that'll be good for the putting your orders in for that next week.
USDA is funding us for that?
It's a USDA grant in conjunction with the state of New Jersey. And again, this was a very last minute thing. It came into us. We had already kind of made all our arrangements, and we got a notification. And so that's why, unfortunately, we weren't able to put something out until today because we were trying to still understand some of the specifics of it. But yes, it's our understanding it is a fully funded program by them. So we are obviously want to make it available to our students.
And parents don't have to provide any documentation for need. They just,
No, that's exactly what we clarified, Steve. We thought at first it may have been a need-based situation, and they did get back to us and said it is not need-based. It is simply you have to be under 18.
okay, thank you.
No problem.
I have a question. Well, between now. All right, so they would be taking that lunch home, correct?
That is correct, Gail.
Okay, now today, kindergarten had lunch?
Yeah.
They ate outside?
No.
Well, from what I understand, the kindergarten, the kindergartners take lunch home?
Yes. Lunch for all students, unless you were a full-day student, lunch went home with you. Lunch doesn't
Okay.
get delivered until the very end of the day.
Okay, I don't like, as a board member, bringing up a relative, but my little grandson, he came home and he said his classmates, they all got something to eat, but nobody gave him anything to eat and all he had was water. And I said to my daughter, they're not supposed to be eating any food. He said they ate outside. So what he saw was children taking their lunches home.
No, I understand what it is, Gail. The kindergartners, and we discussed it with the parents, that if they were able to, in what days where the weather permits, our classes are obviously going outside for mass breaks and the like. So especially for our kindergartners, we told them if they're going outside on those days, they're allowed when they're outside to then have a quick snack.
Okay.
Yeah, that may have been it. It wasn't a lunch. We were trying to work within the confines of how can we do this in a safe manner without masking, and thought for those students, if they're going outside anyway, they're taking off their mask in a safe manner when they're in proper social distance, that could be a way to alleviate some of those issues. Because I know we had a lot of concerns from the kindergarten parents, especially with trying to have those young ones last the whole day without eating some kind of a snack as they usually would during a school day. So it
Okay,
wasn't-
because I was confused, because my daughter, I said, no food in school.
No.
And,
And
okay, so if it looks like a nice day, they send something in, they'll eat it outside. Okay.
Hey, Sean or Rich, how's our post-day cleaning going?
I'm sorry, do you mean the post?
Well, we're obviously not at school right now because the school shuts down at 6 o'clock and they do that end of day cleaning.
Oh, I'm sorry, Steve. I thought you meant the posting for the part-time. I apologize.
The post of the end of the day,
Okay.
you know.
Rich, you want to chime in on how that's going? Obviously, today's day one.
Yeah, so far it's going well. Everything's getting sanitized as it's supposed to, and going through wiping down everything clean, and using the sprayers we got, and it's all working out excellent so far. So hopefully it stays that way and no problems.
Great, thank you.
Hey, Sean, since this is committee of the whole, I have I guess this is new business. It's partly old business. I didn't really know where to weave this in. With the self-certification that parents are having to do on a daily basis. Today's first time people logged in to do that. I know there is an option to print the certification. Is it your expectation that that is printed and sent in with the student?
Great question, Dan. It is not required. What had happening is since we were on course, ended up having a lot of that thing developed, their system, where all the schools kind of chimed in as to what we would like. Some schools wanted to have a print certification. We understand that not every family has a printer at home, so we did not want to require that. Or since we can see in the system if a student has.
So there's no expectation then that a child brings that in on a daily basis. So
No, very good.
That's great. That's the answer I was kind of hoping for from an environmental standpoint.
Yes. Yes.
That brings me to my second question, which is to have the parents do that on a daily basis. You're essentially saying, no, my kid still isn't sick. My kid still isn't sick. Is there a process by which we could have the parents self-certify up front that if their child becomes ill or has symptoms of the following nature, they would at that point then log in and make that notification to take some of the mundane redundancy out of doing that every day?
Part of our plan that was submitted to the state required that daily certification. So I'd have to see if we could make any changes to that. That was part of our requirement. We were going to have that done to make sure.
I've gotten feedback from 2 people that might be a more efficient way to go. So I'm just passing that in as a board member.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep.
I'm afraid to say anything.
I'm done.
All right, you ready, Brian?
I'd like to make a motion to adjourn, Madam President.
I'll second that. Vicky?
Vicky second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All abstain. Have a good night, everybody.
Thank you.
Aye.
Good night.
Aye.
Good night.